What's up, y'all? So we're going to be talking Meshtastic, in this case, two Heltec V3s made by Muzzyworks. Shout out there. Quality products, man. Like, whoa, just got these earlier this week, and this is solid stuff. But in the interim, while I was waiting on those, I've been waiting to find a way to communicate off the box, and so far this seems like using Meshtastic was the way, but using Raspberry Pi and a Linux suite and OS, it was, from what I read online, pretty difficult unless you use the Python command line interface. And in this case, I didn't know anything about how to add that to the box. I was getting a lot of errors. It took me a couple days in the evenings to figure out how to do that. But I'll explain. The way that I did it was, if you want to run Meshtastic on a Linux suite, you have to set up a Python virtual environment, which is nothing more than setting up doing just that, which is a simple Google search, but it took me a while to figure out how to do it. I'm not, a genius at this stuff, but let's zoom in here. Let's see. Hopefully you can see this. So in my case, all I have to run now, like once the VENV is set up, which is 2 or 3 commands, if I want to activate my VENV, we'll Control C, open up a terminal, Control Shift V, activate it, change directory, eMesh. So I tried a couple different ones. Mesh Talk or Mesh Watch wasn't functional for me. There was another one that I tried that was eMesh, which is why the directory is now named eMesh. That also was not functional. It was a little frustrating to try and do this, and none of them work, but as it would turn out, using Meshtastic software by itself allowed me to run the suite just fine. So let's say I want to send a message, right? Say I want to send, so it's just going to be Meshtastic, tac, send text, and then whatever you want to send is sent in parentheses, right? So if I want to send redo LC, so loud and clear, right? Hit enter. Hopefully it comes through here. There it is, redo loud and clear. So you can send from this node, which is connected via USB, to this node, and we're talking ranges. I'm in the city, so I would hope up to 1 mile between nodes, but they say 1 to 3, right? And then if I pull up my phone, I already have a notification, which I'll show you here. Redo Lima Charlie. Send another one. Let's go back to some previous ones. Meshtastic, send text, good comms check. So it's going to send a message, it's going to acknowledge, and then it's going to reply with an acknowledgement. Good comms check. So let's reply with, how do you read me? Question mark. And the only way that you can see it is through your notification on the Heltec V3. Currently, we just got our acknowledgement back. So the messages are sending between the two nodes, and it gives you a response of 21 seconds ago. There was a communication signal, 87%. There's no GPSs in these devices, so you don't know where, at least this one is. I'm finding ways to connect a GPS to the system to hopefully see, communicate the GPS position of the box to the Heltec V3, which communicates the position to the other nodes. And you'll see I had to type Meshtastic, tac port, specify the port, TTY USB 0 is the one that this Heltec is connected to, and my GPS was TTY USB 1. So if you have another USB plugged into the R.A.I.N, then you're going to have to specify which port you're sending the message through, which is fine. It just takes a little extra work. In this case, just leaving the tac port dev TTY USB 0 in the message, and then just back, spacing whatever message you had pre-made there. So now that we're at this point with the box, I'm getting to kind of a happy state with it. And I'll put in the description below all of the links to the products that I use to build this box. I had a lot of this myself. I think the pricing probably comes out to about 660 bucks, which is a lot, and you don't need everything that I use, right? I put everything in there, you know, the Nestor SDR, the antennas, the specific power bank I use, which I recommend. All of it's in there. I didn't list the Heltec V3s, but I can. They're on Etsy, and Muzzyworks is really responsive, great dude. But this is kind of at the point where, you know, if you wanted to have a R.A.I.N, something similar, I keep this Heltec V3 in the box. I keep another one with it in the box, and whoever I'm with, just I ensure that they have the Meshtastic software on their phones, and even I have it on my phone to tinker with. Ideally, moving towards a LilyGo T-Deck to keep with the box, so that if someone's with you and they don't have the software, you have a T-Deck in the box, along with 1 or 2 nodes. You give them the T-Deck and you keep the box, and you keep this at your camp or in your vehicle. And so if you get separated, they have a way to communicate. And just being able to have the ability to communicate at any point is truly, you know, a lifesaver, or it can be. You know, the string of text for this node has to be limited. Generally, your cap is 228 characters, but I think the cap is probably more around 100 for this, because you can only see so much. Let's say, making this video for YouTube, how do you copy? We'll send it through. Let's see, how small is it going to make it? Yeah, there you go. Making this video for YouTube, how do you copy? Question mark. Comes through just fine. These nodes have a battery that should last for some good amount of time. I'd say, you know, at least 8 hours. I had this one charged up. And if you go into the app, you can kind of see what your nodes are. So I have R.A.I.N 1 and R.A.I.N 2. I'll keep R.A.I.N 1 on, you know, with my phone, and then R.A.I.N 2 will stay in the box. And if I go somewhere with my wife, she'll have the ability to communicate off of these as well. And you can see we don't have internet. We are connected. No, we don't have internet here either. I put it in airplane mode, so nothing going on here. Yeah. So the R.A.I.N does have comms off the box. I'm pretty happy with where it's at. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Let's do Meshtastic info and show what you see in the command line interface. So this gives you a prompt display of all of your nodes in the mesh, your info, what radio you're connected to. In this case, it's R.A.I.N 2. Highlight that there. Go down. You have device preferences, your module preferences, and then you have your channels. I set up 2 channels, index 0 primary channel, and then index 1 secondary with a AES 256 encryption. So both nodes have that key in their channel index so that they can communicate to each other. If you stay in the primary channel, you run into the problem of if you're out driving around sending messages to each other, somebody else could be in the primary channel too. Those aren't necessarily encrypted. There's just open. It's an open channel. So anybody else with one of these in an open channel could see that, which for most people is probably not a problem. But if you want the actual AES 256 encryption, you have to set up a secondary channel and ensure that both nodes, or all of your nodes, have the encryption key. Yeah, here we are, guys. So if you have any questions, please let me know. This took a long time to set up and get functional, and I would say the eMesh doesn't really work like I hoped it would. Yeah, Meshtastic itself works, but you have to have a VENV. You know, going back through all of this, let's go to, I have a notepad with all of the command prompts that I enjoy using. So if I want to open up eMesh, it's Python GUI.py. So let's try Python GUI.py. Yeah, so mesh, talk or eMesh does open, but you see there's a lot of issues in the display. You can connect to a radio, and it does connect. It tells you you're connected, but it doesn't work like you would hope. Yeah, right. Like radio name R.A.I.N 2, and then it begins a endless cycle of beacon cooldown, checking for beacon cooldown. So this doesn't really work. It took three different types of attempts here, but yeah. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer what I can. But we're getting to a final state with the R.A.I.N, and yep, I'll put the description for the parts in the link below. Thanks, guys. Take care.